Hello, boys and girls. It's been a few weeks since I've seen you. I'm glad to make another video, another recording on this beautiful Monday morning. I just wanted to share with you today's going to be a pretty easy, straightforward lesson. I need to start introducing basic music theory, like staff notation, clefs, ledger lines, and things of that sort. We've already discussed rhythm a little. We've read some rhythms, and especially if you're in the older grade levels, you have been reading rhythms for many years. But I need to start, telling you what the music symbols mean and their function in music. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this website. It's a great website, and obviously, if you've opened up this assignment, you've seen the link. So if you want to bookmark it on your own on your Chromebook or your iPad, whatever you have, this is the website right here. It's called musictheory.net, and it's actually an old website. I used to visit this when I was like in high school, I think, and it didn't look as cool as it does now. It was, it looked like 90s webs web pages. But the site has grown, and they have apps too that you can download if you want to pay for it. But you don't have to. You could just go to the website and get free lessons. I like to use this for in class stuff, just to demonstrate the different things that we can do. But anyways, okay, so it's musictheory.net lessons. We're gonna click on the first lesson that's called the staff, clefs, and ledger lines. Okay, so we're not learning a song today, similar to last week. Last week you learned about John Williams, and hopefully you got a lot out of that. And he's a very influential person in our lives. But these are the things that a composer uses. These are the tools a composer uses. He has to use a staff and different clefs because different instruments are in different ranges relative to one another. And some instruments like the piccolo have super high sounds, and so you have to use a different system of writing down their notation than you would like maybe a tuba or a trombone or an upright bass, contrabass rather, with super low sounds. And then there's the instruments in between, and then there's the instruments that's medium high and then medium low, and it gets a little chaotic, I will admit. But you always start somewhere. Does John Williams know how to play every single instrument in the symphony orchestra? Probably not. He probably knows how to play a good deal of them, but just like every uh, good musician that's good at one instrument, there's going to be a family of instruments that um, he's or he or she is not able to do. But that doesn't take away the fact that you can write music for these instruments. So just because you can't play an instrument, um, like John Williams can't play many instruments in the symphony orchestra, doesn't mean that he cannot write for them. He's a great um, writer. He's a great musician. He's actually a pianist, and it's sometimes easier for a piano player to do these things. But you've had a little bit of experience making your own music on the iPads with virtualmusicalinstruments.com and Chrome Music Lab, and hopefully I've gotten you a little excited in the creation. That means you're making your own music, and that's a very exciting thing for a musician. Okay, but it's so much better when you learn your craft and you learn what to do, and how to make music, and really understand the sounds you're making. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. Okay, so the first lesson is right here: the basics, the staff, clefs, and ledger lines. Learn about the staff, treble, and bass clefs and ledger lines. We're gonna click that. Okay, all right. Okay, so the first thing we see today, and I'm silencing my phone because everybody wants to text me and email me when I'm recording a lesson. Okay, so this first lesson, the staff, clefs, and ledger lines, the first thing we see is the staff. Okay, so say that with me: staff. Okay, okay, so these five lines that we call the staff in music is kind of like a notebook for writing English. Whenever you're writing letters or writing words or writing a story or a sentence, from an assignment, maybe your teacher. assigned you, or maybe you write a, I don't know, a birthday card to your grandma or mama, and tell them I love you or whatever. Whenever you're writing, that's kind of like what we musicians write on, okay? And depending on where the note is on the staff, um, tells us what sound to play on our instrument. If it's a note that's down here, like on one of these lines, it's going to sound lower. If it's a note that's up here, it's going to sound higher. Okay, so that's common sense. You can also put notes on the line themselves, because there's 5 lines, so that's 5 notes. Or you can put a note in between the lines, and we call that the space. And there's 4 spaces in between those 5 lines, right? So that's a total of 9 that we can fit in a musical staff. But that doesn't mean that's the only notes we can fit on a page. That's in that tool we'll discuss. Okay, so I'm going to read this. It says, the staff is the foundation upon which notes are drawn. The modern staff comprises 5 lines and 4 spaces. Every line or space on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna scroll down. Okay. So that's what we just did. And I just clicked this arrow and it showed me my 5 lines and my 4 spaces. What I just explained to you. Okay. All right. Um, so it's telling us every line or space on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. So as you're going up the staff in the line or space, these are the keys that you'd be touching. And you don't have to worry about going to virtual musical instruments. This website is just teaching you the concept of, if you're lower on the staff, you're going to be more left on the piano, and therefore more lower on the piano because the low keys are on the left. And then as you move up the staff, the sounds get higher or right on the piano. Okay. Okay. Next one. It says clefs assign individual notes to certain lines or spaces. 2 clefs are normally used: the treble, that's this one, and the bass clefs. Okay. So treble and bass clef. First, we will discuss the treble clef, also the G clef. So this is called the G clef because, in antiquated music, I guess I should say, this was a stylized G. It's in the shape of the G. Like I'm gonna trace it out right now. See, it kind of looks like a G. Okay, so that's called the G clef. Um, well, they didn't explain the other clef. I guess I'll come back. Well, let me tell you. This is called the F clef. They didn't say it down here, but this is called the F clef, and that's supposed to be an F, a stylized F, like a fancy looking F. So here's like the line of the F, and you see these 2 dots. Those are like the 2 lines that you would normally see going that way. Okay. Anyways, okay. Let me go for it. First, we will discuss the treble clef, also called the G clef. The staff line, which the clef wraps around, shown in red, is known as the G. So, yes, this is a stylized G, but the little circle that's made actually circles the G line. So that's a cool little note there. Any note placed on this line becomes G. Okay. So the space above the G line is A. Remember, there is no H. So in music, we use the first 7 letters of the alphabet because there's 7 sounds in a major scale in Western tonal music. So we use A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we do not go on to H. We start at A again, okay? Because there's only 7 pitches in a major scale, okay? Now, and it says the note on the line above A is called B. And then the process continues. C in the space, D on the line, E in the space, F on the line, and then right above the clef, right above the staff, sits the higher G. Okay. We just ran out of room to place notes. What happens now? Well, ledger lines will solve our dilemma. So we have ledger lines, and they're just little lines that go up here, and they stack on top of each other to be made to look like a staff. Okay. So a ledger line is a small line that extends the staff when we run out of room. Okay. With the ledger line drawn, we can place the A. Okay, so we're gonna put that A. Now we can fit that A because we put that ledger line. And actually, you can put multiple ledger lines, so you can go up pretty high, which is required on very high pitched instruments like flute and piccolo and things of that sort, and violin and stuff. Okay, all right. Let's discuss the bass clef, also called the F clef. Okay, so I hinted to you about this, but this is a stylized F, and these two dots actually surround the F line, the F note. Okay, and I think that's what it says here. Sorry, the staff line in between the two dots is of the clef is F. We can now fill in the rest of the staff with notes. Okay, so we they just went up here on the next space. That's G, then A, and then they skip back down to F here. I know it's a little choppy, confusing, but anyways, and then as they get lower in sound, you're just going down the alphabet. And remember, um, when you reach A, before A would come G because we're only using the first 7 letters of the alphabet. Okay. All right. And it says, finally, we will discuss the grand staff. Ooh, how many lines is that? I don't even want to count. A theoretical staff consisting of 11 lines. Watch what happens when we eliminate the middle line. When we end up with two regular staves. Okay, so this is kind of what piano reads, because if you play piano, you have to read both clefs. Okay, so let's go to the next one. By adding the treble clef to the top of the staff, or to the top staff, and a bass clef to the bottom staff, we can see the relationship between the two staffs. Okay, notice how the two clefs are joined by the C, shown in red right here. The C, I'm sorry, this C is commonly called middle C, since it corresponds to the middle staff line on the grand staff. Okay, all right, so I know that was a quick kind of rundown of the staffs, clefs, and ledger lines, but hopefully you picked up on something. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to quiz you. I'm going to give you a little quiz, and Google. You're gonna have to open up Google Documents, okay? And you're gonna answer some questions based on this lesson today. I know it was a quick one, but you can cheat. You have 2 ways to cheat on the quiz, okay? I'm teaching you how to cheat on a quiz. Bad teacher, right? Okay, you can either watch this video again and go back and watch the lessons, or you can click the website and go to the lesson yourself and click through the different things and write down your answers in the Google Doc. Okay, the way you're going to do that is you're going to exit out of this YouTube video, go back into Schoology, and then you're going to click that tab that says My Document. Boom. When you click it, the Google Doc should open up. Now, you can write your answers within that Google Doc, and when you're done answering the questions, push the Submit Assignment button, or you can press the Edit button, and then it'll open up in a real Google Doc, tab of its own, so it's a little bigger and easier to read and write. Okay, it's up to you. But either way, please come back to Schoology and click the Submit Assignment once you're done. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it was good seeing you again, and I hope to see you soon. If you haven't come back to school, there's lots of kids now, and we just got approved for music kits to have in the classroom that are not shared between students. Instruments that you get to keep in the classroom and then bring to music, so that way you can have some type of musical manipulator. So, it's getting fun now, and we're still practicing social distancing and procedures. And man, it's been a great musical experience here at school. It's been a great educational experience, and I can't wait to see you again. All right, thank you. Bye bye.